Hello and welcome to the video review of Machine Wars Optimus Prime. This guy came out in the early 90s, and I actually didn't purchase him initially when he first came out, because, quite honestly, I didn't really care for the Machine Wars line. I was all, getting ready to go into high school, and didn't have any real money to buy this guy. But in college, at KB Toys, this guy was on sale for something like 80% off the original retail price, so I picked him up. And I'm very glad I did. As you can see, he is an armored tractor trailer. He's more of a European-style tractor trailer, or at least tractor, otherwise called a lorry in England. Now, one thing that needs to be said is that this is not the original figure, as in this is a repaint of a European figure called Thunderclash. The European figure was significantly different colored than this, but still, it's for a very G1-esque figure. It's pretty cool. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the cab of the lorry. And here we have the cab, or the tractor part. If you're in the US, we would call this a tractor trailer, but in Europe they are called lorries, I think. Anyway, so as you can see, he is typical Prime colors, and yeah, he's just a little tractor trailer. So let's go ahead and get him transformed. First thing we're going to do is typical Prime fashion: swing the legs down, and flip the feet out. Then we are going to take a look at the cab part here, and we're going to turn him around, open this panel if we can, and rotate the head out just a little bit, not all the way. Then we'll come in here in the front and actually get our fingers under here and fold out the arms. And then we will fold down that panel and flip up the head. Now, as you can see, unlike Optimus Prime, he does have a full mouth molded onto his face. His face is silver, blue head, red thingy. I'm assuming that's like an air conditioning unit or something. And he looks like a Prime. He looks like a Prime. And he's very reminiscent. His transformation is actually pretty reminiscent of Power Master Prime, or Genrai from the Master Force series. His posability is thus. That's it. I'm really not making that up. I mean, he doesn't even have shoulder posability. He can't even move his shoulders. He can move his arms. I mean, this is definitely a G1 style figure. I think I have the gun somewhere. I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty sure I have the gun somewhere. I just can't seem to find it right now, but I know I have it. It's just probably sitting in the box. So, as a whole, I mean, he looks pretty cool. I like the coloring. I like the, you have some definite nice little brownish green hues here, which are a nice touch, but other than that, I would have liked these to have been maybe blue, or maybe a bright blue or something, but the brown-green is a nice touch, and I like the fact that he looks like he's got a cape, or he's got like a dual parting cape that he can fly, but otherwise, hey, he's a Prime and he doesn't look too bad. So now that we've looked at the figure, or I'm sorry, the cab, let's go ahead and look at the trailer. And here we have the trailer. As you can see, it continues the green palette that is found in the robot mode. In this form, he does have an attack mode, which you push this white button, and those rotate down. That's it. Now, as all trailers do now, the trailer transforms, and you will forgive me if I don't quite get it all on camera, because this transformation is pretty, not epic, it's more like a flower. It just folds out to be, I don't know, 2 to 3 times its original size. So we're going to start off by coming around here and grabbing this piece and just kind of pulling it off. This will, and of course, by doing that, by moving the figure at all, we undo that. So this back part is kind of important in the final base mode. Oh, and it says Transformers. You do have enough room to store nothing. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can actually fold out these black pieces, but they don't really want to come out. I have gotten them to fold out before, but for right now they just don't want to come out. Don't know why. Or did they just come straight down? Whatever. I've actually gotten these things to fold out before, but I don't remember how I did it, so we'll leave them. They really don't, there's really no point to them. So we'll start out by getting here and just opening it up like this. Now, you will notice that the back of the figure has this little ledge part cut out. That's because it's going to lay down like that. So we just have to get everything lined up with these halves of the base mode. And what helps is you just get everything angled such that it looks okay. So that looks okay to me. I'm probably doing it wrong, but you could go kind of like this, I guess. I've never actually seen a good way to do this. Next, we're going to take this whole back unit and lift it up, spin it around, and of course that will trigger the guns coming apart. Then we're going to come under here and open this up, revealing a BFG. And then finally we'll come up to the top, fold this part down, and this will plug in right here to form a platform. And let me go ahead and do that. There we go. So there we go. Wow, this thing's big. It takes up a lot of shelf space, and it is pretty intimidating. I do have to admit that. So what can you do with this thing? Well, you can, again, put the little gun up here, and then Optimus Prime can sit up here, and he can act almighty. And that clicking sound is just me extending the camera legs. So Optimus can look out and aim. Very similarly to Armada Prime, where he could have miniguns do something similar. As a battle base, though, this thing fails. I'm sorry. This gun, I think this is an actual missile, but it doesn't actually fire. I think it might have in the European version. I don't know for sure. And I think this thing had lights and sounds, but the US version does not. And then these obviously fire, and they do fire a decent distance. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to go chasing after the missile. But as a base, it's really kind of meh. There are only two places where anything can actually sit and then roll off of, but there's no point. I mean, it's almost like these parts were supposed to originally, you see how they're molded, it looks like guns were supposed to flip out or something. But otherwise, it's really kind of dumb. As a Prime figure, I don't think this thing works at all. I really don't. I'm not a fan of the base. I do appreciate the base doing something, but at least this thing isn't motorized and would catch on fire. So I really can't recommend this guy because I don't think the base is very cool at all. I'm not a fan of it. There's nothing particularly wrong with the base, but especially mine is just really finicky and really doesn't know what it wants to do. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I have this thing transformed right, because I just get the feeling that parts of it aren't quite lining up where they should. And you know what? That could be entirely just be me. I could just be doing it wrong. So as a whole, like I said, I like the Prime figure. I like the cab. But I would love to see the base be something, I don't know, a little more usable.